All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief sound and a video check while I get a few things set up on my end. We should be good to go. Just trying to... Been watching Rips out there tearing it up on the poker table. Fun to always watch and see. Got to put that stream away. And I'm sure everybody in the chat, there's a lot of people watching it. So give me just a moment. Getting a few things set up. Organizing my setup here so it looks nice and it looks clean. So give me just a moment. Let's see if we could get this done. I think we should be good to go. I think we're good to go. All right. How's everybody? Looks good, sounds good. Great. Going long or short rips? Oh, I'm long rips. It's been fun to watch and see him. Everyone kind of gets to see behind the scenes on Rips playing poker. And, yeah, I was kind of wishing I was down there with him. I was debating whether to fly down to Vegas and put 50K on the table and play around with him and see how I could do. Last time I played with Rips, he cleaned me out. Add Rips to the title in here. I know. Rips is on YouTube. If you guys don't know, it's on World Series or World Poker Tour, I believe is the name of it. But anyway, let's get going. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA, as always in the YouTube chat. Let's go ahead and get that risk disclosure in there. Everything I do and say in this class is for educational purposes only. It is not a signals class. 100% it is not a signals class. As you guys can see, I am short the Nikkei, looking for a sell-off, maybe looking for 39,000 evens to be playing. So here we go. I am short in this combine, and I'm short. This is just a demo account. I'm also short in my live account as well. So I'll go through this. Yes, I am sure this is not a signals class. Now, that being said, I am short the Nikkei. I am short in my live, and this account, for some reason, it was not loading up. So I'm getting a few things set up, rearranging my desk, rearranging everything. I was watching Rip's stream and a little bit behind schedule. And so in honor of Rips and everybody watching him, I think we could end this class just a little bit early. Let's put it up for a vote. Let's put it up for a vote. Who in the chat wants, should we end this class maybe 30 minutes early? Thoughts? Well, I finished getting a few things up. All good? End it now. No. All right. Well, let's get going. As always, let's go keep an eye on this Nikkei short, and let's start talking about the markets. Yeah, you guys could watch both. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing, right? Even if you have one monitor, you could put it on half the screen and half not. So that being said, let's go ahead and review. Remember, I'm short the Nikkei. If it starts to break down, we'll go ahead and trade it and see where it goes. But let's do a review. Let's take a look. Why am I short the Nikkei? And what am I looking for? So over here, I like to use a higher time frame. I'm going to start with the Nikkei because I am short, so that's why. And okay, if you guys remember, I was on fast markets this morning. Everyone's seen I was short the Nikkei up here in this consolidation. Unfortunately, this little wick stopped me out. I got stopped out by that wick during the New York session, right as fast markets was ending. I got stopped out, which was pretty frustrating. We sold off. I was looking for this to be a pullback. There was an opportunity to short here, which I did miss on that one. And now I'm looking for this market to continue and have a chance, have a possibility to start breaking this trend line, looking for us to maybe test and run some of these lows. I was looking at it yesterday a little bit. You guys know I was in a short. I took some losses there, and then I tried to short during the New York session. It wicked me out, unfortunately. Maybe just too tight of a stop loss. You guys seen the position I was during fast markets. And then here I am short once again and looking for this market to break down. The first area of target, of course, I am going to be looking for is going to be right here around this level of support. You can see there was support not once, but twice, and there was consolidation there a few times. When, as obviously you could see it when we sold down, consolidate, support and resistance. So if we do, and if we can get a nice breakdown, these 180 area is going to be my first target, the first level that I'm going to be watching at. And then maybe if we can make a run to 39,000, let's see if we can make a run to 39,000 on that one. So that's what I'm looking at. Keep an eye on it. Let's go and let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Man, the Nasdaq was, I don't want to say an easy market. There's no such thing as an easy market, but I would say easier or more optimal in terms of trading. We got the breakdown. We got the breakdown of that support that I was looking for us to break down and find some continuation, maybe come up and test this high. We did get that. The question now is, are we going to have continuation? Will we have follow through? Or is this just another buy the dip where we had the sell off and now we're looking to make a run back up towards the highs? If I take a look at the hourly chart, Topstep TV during fast markets was great. The house account just nailed it. Rips and I were, on the same page. We were reading it, looking at this. Now we could look at this and say, oh wow, look, is this a shoulder, head, and shoulder? And then we started to break through this, and yeah, let's see if we could have that continuation, or is this just a run of liquidity, running stops, and now we're going to just rally and come back up and test these highs, and then look for possibly this market to just be consolidating, just one big consolidation? That could be it, right? That could be it. If we do rally, maybe we're looking at one big start of a consolidation. That is possible. But during the New York session, I'll show you what I was looking at, and why we were looking for those shorts is look at this major rejection right here. We went up, we tested this, right? We rejected off it. Rips called it out, 604, 605, rejected. As soon as we started to break through this, I was looking for 450s. We nailed 450s. We ended up breaking through that, and we ended up seeing the next level of resistance, support and resistance. You can see over here on the left, there was some consolidation right here. So that was about where I was looking for the market to go. We ended up making the low of the day right there, which was a beautiful thing to see and watch. And here we are tonight. We are right at this level. And the question is this just going to be a pullback, a test of this support and resistance, and then maybe a continuation down, right? Or are we just going to, maybe hold this and then break through it and accept back up here? And maybe we can make a run back up into these 550s. I'm okay with both. This is a nice decision zone. It's a decision zone. So longs are looking for this to break out, of course. Shorts are going to looking for this as a continuation. We will see. This is a very bullish candle on the 1 hour chart, to be honest. This major rejection of anything below that, closing and holding up in this zone. So yeah, that's a major candle. What's the last time we've seen a candle like that, right? On the 1 hour chart, last time we've seen that was right here. That was back on December 3rd, and then we've had that huge rally last time we've seen that candle. So is that prediction of what we can see here? Are we going to see a nice rally off that? So those are some things I'm watching. Those are some things I'm paying attention to going into tonight. Maybe a decent trade would be. We do have news tomorrow, everybody. So a big news that this market could be waiting for the CPI. CPI tomorrow is going to be big. We have a BOC rate statement, so that could add some volatility. Of course, the oil's inventory and some notes. So, tomorrow we can see a lot of volatility. And then again, Thursday, we do have the PPI. So tomorrow and Thursday, we can definitely see a lot more volatility. So maybe being more patient and waiting to see what the news is. I'm looking for this market, to be honest, to be more of a consolidation now while we wait for news. We had a lot of volatility today in terms of the rally and the sell-off, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see consolidation around this zone and a choppy market until tomorrow. Now, let's take a look at crude oil. Just briefly, I don't want to talk too much about crude because crude's not been the best market. And let's take a look. Let's take a look. I've been kind of staying away from crude. I take a look at it for a little bit, but nothing really has changed. Nothing really has changed. It's this flagging pattern, this consolidation, this slowing of range, this tightening of a range, pennant pattern, whatever you want to call it. And sure enough, those that were looking for longs off the bottom of this pattern is happy. We're looking like we're rotating back up to the top of this pattern. And then are we going to do something like this where we go and we test the top of the pattern and then come down and test this? Or are we just going to just go through and break out? I'm not sure. I have not been liking this price action on crude, so I'm going to pass on crude. I already went over Nikkei. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, sure enough, it's doing exactly what we are wanting it to do. We had that consolidation we've been looking for the past week or two. We've broke out. Remember last night we was watching it break out live. That was fun to see, right? We're coming up. We're testing this area of resistance, not just once, two. It's nice level of support and resistance. We've kind of seen that here on September 27th as well. So this is an interesting spot. This definitely is an interesting spot where, I think we could still see some continuation back up. But that was a beautiful example in gold of a nice consolidation and then a breakout. And I think we seen it break out live, right? We seen it break out live, if I remember right, where last night we were watching, was it last night where I was watching this, where we had the breakout of resistance, we got the nice pullback, and this was a beautiful opportunity to buy it, and here we are in a nice rally here in gold. And now maybe we see a little bit more of a continuation up here into these 40s. Will we see a pullback? Maybe. This is going to be an interesting level, right? There's some nice support and resistance here around this 27.15. If we get some type of a pullback, I would like to be a buyer in this zone, but this is a very strong market. I don't want to be short gold right now in this strong market, and it's also pretty difficult to buy after we've had such a rally, to be honest. So anyway, we went pretty fast, which is a good thing. I'm feeling a little congested. I think a bug's been going around in terms of everyone not feeling too good, but my mouth's been dry. We'll see how it is. Let's get to some questions, and yeah, let's watch these markets. I have this Nikkei going, so let's just go ahead and watch everything. You got a cold mic? Yeah, I might be getting one too. We'll see. Don't get you guys sick. The what do they call it? The virus, the computer virus, transmitted through the YouTube. Just had it on Friday. Sick. Yeah, no one wants to get sick. Wear my mask. I'm staying indoors, staying inside my place and not going anywhere. Jay Smith, your mouth's dry too. Is it for the same reasons? Question mark. What is your take profit on the Nikkei? So yeah, we could focus on the Nikkei. We watched the Nasdaq over here on the right. We could watch the Nikkei over on the left. See what the Nasdaq's wanting to do. It looks like we did open up here around 430 and 430s is where we open. Let's see. Let's watch this. Let's watch this. Let's see if the Nikkei could have a little bit of a sell-off here. I want to take a look. Let's watch it. We could all watch it together. You could watch me risk. Let's see if. Let me pull up my live account. You guys want me to see? I'm sure you guys doing that. Give me a second. I'll pull up my live account and you could see it. Give me just one moment. Maybe if it will load. Well, let me just refresh this. Let me refresh this. There's it. Okay, there. It loaded. There's my live account. Okay, we can continue to watch this. I want to look at the 1 hour chart. Yeah, let's see if we could get this sell off. I'm looking for these. Looking for some type of push around this support. So don't mind. Let's watch it. Let's watch it together. Dakota, where's your favorite poker room? I like Caesars. Caesars is pretty good, but Caesars, Bellagio, and then of course, you guys see Rips as well. I'm finding difficulty trading the Asian session. What helped you trade it? Pure technicals or higher time frame? On higher time frame, yes, DA. You guys watch me every single night here in slow markets, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's pure technicals, higher time frames. So you guys see me do technical analysis on these higher time frames all the time, all the time. Why do you trade the Asian session if it's really slow? GG, because when I first started to learn how to trade, this was the only time I had available to trade, and there's opportunity any time of day, right? When you're looking at higher time frames, I look to hold these trades overnight where I could take advantage of a move during the Asian session. London session, there's many times where everyone wakes up and says, wow, we had a huge move overnight, that there's some great opportunities during the overnight session, not just the New York session. So I like these higher time frames, hourly charts, 5 minutes. You see I start on the daily sometimes. And yeah, I mean, an hourly chart's an hourly chart. Price action's price action. And if the market's going to move overnight and I could take advantage of it, then I'm going to do so, right? My best trades have been overnight. Good. Nice. Nice. Let's talk straddles poker. What are they? It's not like options. Kind of like options. Dakota, is there a way to get an order layout box to sync with the chart? Say I switch chart from NQ to ES, it stays on NQ. I'm not sure what you mean. For me, make sure there's a link. See how this link is white? And if this link is white, it will match, right? This is how you link the charts. So that way, if they're both white and I change one of them, they both change. Dakota, do you ever draw levels on your chart? Yeah, Toby, all the time. You see me draw them during the night in slow markets. You see me draw them when I'm on fast markets. I don't like to leave the levels on my charts, though, sometimes, to be honest, because it's just a habit of mine, I guess. If I draw something, I could visually see it. I don't like to have a lot of drawings on my charts when I'm watching the markets. I like them like this, right? I could draw, and you see me draw them all the time when I'm explaining things, and I'm okay drawing them for a minute just to get a nice good analysis, and then after that I kind of just I prefer not to have and keep drawings on my charts. I talk about options a lot. Yeah, one of these nights I will have to have an options class. I don't know when, but slow markets and futures comes first. Maybe I don't know. I keep saying it. I keep talking about options, but yeah, nothing yet. Can you walk us through your slow market setup strategy? I do every night. You guys are seeing a good example of one, right? You guys see me do the analysis on a higher time frame. You can see where I was looking for my stop loss. My stop loss is above a nice area, of support and resistance. I got into a trade, and now I'm looking for this market to make a run, maybe down to, I don't know, can we see 39,000? We see 39,000, maybe we can make a run down there. I'm not sure. I'm looking for just a base hit, looking for something maybe around the 39 190s, something like that. I hope we can someday have options on future in Topstep King. Maybe. I mean, you've heard MP talk about it on Topstep TV, live accounts, right? Trying to find ways to show traders the benefits of live accounts, where you can work with the risk managers, you can hold traders overnight, and maybe, I know MP's mentioned it, maybe options. That I would love that personally. Yeah, flexibility of live accounts. Live accounts is always been the goal. It always will be the goal. And I know Topstep is finding ways to show traders that there are going to be benefits. There's going to be benefits. How do you make? Because honestly, I've had conversations with MP. I talk to him all the time. And here's the question, and everybody knows this question. And the question is, how do you make traders want to get to the live account? Now, I know that it's attractive to stay in a sim account, right? Because like I said, who does not want to be in a sim account? It's easier to trade because you don't give slippage. It's not a real account. It's not live markets. So it's a lot easier. So answer the question, and I had this conversation with the MP. I said, how can we do this? It's like, we need to answer the question, why is it more beneficial to trade in a live account than it would be an XFA? And so that's why there's been some amazing conversations that have been held, right, on TopstepTV and on social media. So other than knowing that it's a live account and like knowing it's live markets and it's legitimate, because you can't just open up your brokerage account and get paid for a demo account. There's some great conversations. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Other than like, I could call Mick right now, say I want to trade 50 contracts, and Mick will open me up and I could trade 50 contracts. Mick could open me up and I could have a larger daily loss limit. I could have, I to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they allow me 100 contracts on this account, and $20,000 daily loss limit, $30,000 daily loss limit. And if I wanted to hold a trade overnight, I could talk to Mick and the risk team, and they will let me hold a trade overnight, depending on the situation. So there's a lot that you can do in a live account that's very beneficial, but I know there's a lot that traders are still wanting, and I'm excited to see the progress and the growth of what's to come. I'm super excited. Okay, let's get some questions. Watching this market, you could just I could show you what I'm watching on the DOM. I don't know why I keep the DOM out. See how the bid and ask is around 215. What time frame do you use when you trade the Nasdaq, and how many points do you risk? It depends. Pyramids, slow markets. You see, I did the hourly chart, 5 minute. Fast markets, I do a 5 minute. Still look at the hourly chart, maybe 100 tick, and the points depends on the market. If it's a slow market, obviously it's going to be less points. If it's a very volatile market, it's going to be more points. So it always just depends for me. I don't have an exact number that I'm going to risk. Hey, Dakota, do you know anything about the email that says that you passed the combine? I'm not sure, Pepe. Can't we already hold contracts overnight from Asia to New York in sim? Adam, so overnight is considered, every single day after the market close. So at 3:15 or 3:10 p.m. Central Time, everything is liquidated. It's considered overnight. There's a 1 hour break at 4 p.m. Central. The future markets are closed for an hour, and then it opens back up. And then you can hold trades from the moment it opens at 5 p.m. Central all the way until the close, which, I mean, technically you could say that's overnight, right? When I go to sleep, I'm holding a trade overnight. If I keep this trade on and I go to sleep, then yeah, for me, this is overnight. But technically, when someone says I want to hold a trade overnight, they want to be able to hold it through that 1 hour close and past 3:10 p.m. Central. That's typically the case. To me, it's not as big of a deal as what people might think it is, to be honest. I like to be able to be flat at the end of the day. And then if you really want to be in a trade, you could just open it back up, to be honest. Like, yeah, I close this trade right at 3:10. Great. As soon as the market's open, I could get back in. Sometimes I could get a little bit better of a pricing. But it saves traders from holding and running into like NVIDIA news earnings or some dramatic news that will blow an account. So, do you know what CPI reading will be good for the markets, as in longs? Mo, at this point, I never know what CPI good readings would be good for the markets. My opinion and the markets can be two different things. Sometimes I believe there's a reading on a CPI or a PPI that I think is good for the markets, and the markets just sell off. So I've stopped caring on what the readings exactly are and basing any of my trades off those readings. But I know traders want to see lower inflation, right? Lower inflation is a positive thing for the markets? Well, it should be. How do you feel about trading from your phone? I don't. I don't like trading from my phone. I'm okay, and I'm for if you're in a position and you need to go somewhere, do something, and I'm okay with saying you can manage a position on your phone after you've already been in it. I do it. I do it sometimes. This position you guys see here, this is my live account. And after class, if I have to run to the store, go to the gas station or go do something, I'll turn my computer off and I will check the market. I'll check it on my phone. So I'll say, do my analysis and everything. I have to do it on my computer. Getting in a trade, I will have to do it on my computer. But then I'm okay with managing this trade on my phone. Like if I'm doing something and the market sells off and okay, I just need to just close a couple of them, or a couple of contracts, or just close my trade, or make a decision on my phone. And maybe if your internet goes out, right? If for some reason your internet goes out or your computer stops working, then being able to manage that on your phone is also a very useful tool. Do you use the order book? No, I do not trade based off the order book. I like watching it. It gives me a good idea of what's kind of going on in the market that you can't see. Do you see that? Where the last fill price is at 240, but then bid and ask is sitting here around 225. Here's the ask 230, bids 220. And so sometimes it gives me a good idea of, how the market sentiment is in terms of they're trying to push this market lower. Here's the low of day at 220. A new low of day is going to be at 215. But then if I'm looking at the charts, there can be a little bit of a difference on that. Yeah, Coach Dakota, on a practice account, my Nikkei was $50 in profit, but when I closed it, it went to $50. Any reason? Yes, the spread. See, there's a spread. Bid and ask. The Nikkei has very low volatility, and you can see 215 to 225 is about $70. And if you're using a market order, then you will get slippage. You will be filled at the opposite side. And look at this. Look at how big the spread is on this. If I'm looking at $250 a tick, $250 a tick, and if I was to close this at market, I would probably be giving up $500. Now please understand, this is live real money, and the bid and ask is a $500 difference between the bid and the ask. So if this is why I do not like market orders to take profits, because if I was just to market order, I'm giving up $500 compared to just using a buy limit order or buy at bid, trying to get where the market's being filled. So, and sometimes it could be more dramatic. If I get slippage of 2-3 ticks, or even more, I could get like $600 worth of slippage, $800 worth of slippage on a position this size. So hopefully that makes sense. That's why there is a big difference between a sim account and a live account. Sim accounts, you could throw thousands and thousands of contracts or contracts in the markets all day with little slippage. Live accounts, it's a lot harder. I do like that Topstep sim account is very similar to getting some slippage on the bid and ask, but nothing's going to be able to compare that to a live market. How fast can you say bid and ask it 5 times? Is there any books you recommend for technical analysis? I do not have any books for personal technical analysis that I have read. Live is much harder. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why traders, we see there's a lot of drama over traders and the fact that myself is pushing for live accounts, right? Sim traders, the simfluencers. Of course, everyone wants to be in a sim account and make money in a sim account and get paid real money for making fake money in a sim account because it's easier. It really is. I've done it. I took advantage of it. I enjoyed every moment of it. But the fact is, and the fact always has been since I started helping traders, is that live accounts are always going to be the end goal, no matter what. Sim is a gift. It is. It 100% is. I always tell traders all the time. I would have loved to be able to have this type of a prop firm when I was learning how to trade, and I would have loved that as a kid and learning to be able to trade in a sim account and make real money off of nothing, right? And then get paid out for it, like thousands of dollars for a sim account. There's Andre. When are you going to join me for slow markets, Andre? We need to get you on here one of these days. If you don't want to go live, how can a person expect real payouts? It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, exactly. Why is live much harder? Live is difficult in every way when it comes to the psychological side. I would say there's a difference knowing that this isn't real money when you're in a sim account versus, hey, this is actually my money, my live money that is at risk when I'm placing a trade in a live account. And then, the live real environment that you're placing orders and you're getting slippage. Right? Not a lot of people is going to be able to say, wow, the difference between the bid and ask is now, what is that? $500, the difference between the bid and ask. What's just a title? XFA is your money too? Randy, not necessarily. XFA is a simulated environment that you are using to qualify in for a live account, and then Topstep does give you a percentage of those profits, which I have a hard time saying profits for sim accounts. Can you show us your live account DOM so we could see the slippage difference? I mean, you guys are seeing it. This is it in front of you. Here's the DOM, live account, DOM. I could show you. Look, if the market does sell off, I'm going to do this. I'll show you. Everyone, you guys pull out your DOM. You pull out your DOM, everybody. Pull out your calculators in class. I'm looking for this market to get to 39,155. And if we get there, I will take profit for 39,155. So if I want to buy a buy limit at 39,155, you could see there's 4 contracts there. And if I was to place this, you can now see 14 contracts. 14 contracts. And then I could close it out back to 4. This is where I want to take profit. That's why I want to put a buy limit. You can't do that in a simulated account. You could put 1,000 contracts anywhere right here, and it's not going to go through. No one sees it. How many contracts can you trade on a live account? Alex, it depends. You have that conversation with the risk management team, but it depends on your account size as well. We're comparing DOM sizes now. That's incorrect. You do not need your own funds to trade live. At Topstep, anyway, at a prop firm. Do I need to pay more to see that? I didn't see that on the DOM. If you have level 2 data, you would see it. Can you go over the Nasdaq? I did, Chris. At the beginning of class, I did go over the Nasdaq. Come on, let's see if we could get some momentum down. Let's get some momentum. Is that because you're on a live account versus sim on why Nikkei is not lining up price-wise compared to the sim accounts on Topstep X? I'm not sure. The prices have always been pretty close to the same. Let's look. Prices are the same to me. I'm not seeing a difference. There's no difference to me. Oh, I'm going to close out this one. Make sure. Sim, boom. Yeah, it's the same for me. I seem a bit feisty lately. I Maybe I am a little feisty lately. I'm a little more feisty because I seen how crazy traders are when it comes to not wanting to be in a live account. And I got pretty upset with that. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, man, why are you guys, why is everybody online? Why is everyone making such a big deal that a company wants traders to go live? And just there's not a lot of logic behind that outside of they want something from nothing. It just I just blows my mind. That's what it was. That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to be in a simulated account, like I said, but it's just not it's not realistic for anybody. Here we go. Let's see if we could test. Now I might start to take profits. Now looking to take profits if we can get if we can get a push lower. I want a nice breakdown. We haven't seen a breakdown. This has been just a kind of a slow grind. No volatility, no just big sell-off. Like if we look at some sell-offs before, this is not a good example. Like this right here, this is a nice sell-off right there. Just massive sell-off, just lots of volatility, just move, push, momentum behind that. That's what I'm wanting to see here. Let's see if we could get it. We are sitting around 185, 190. I want to see that push through. I'm going to go ahead and close out of one at 180. Let's see if we get filled. Got filled. We're seeing 170 now. Let's see if I could get 170. I'll be okay with 170. Actually, you know what? Give me I'll take 175. Skilling out here. Close up my risk. Basically a risk-free trade. Really close to a risk-free trade. I'm up 1,200. Stop loss is at 1,700. Seeing if we can get that momentum now. Here's the negative thing about live sometimes on a very thin market is if I buy at market, I push the market up. I could buy market now and push this market to 190, and I don't want to do that. This is a little more in-depth thinking. It can be a little bit more advanced when you start to get to bigger account sizes on smaller or on low volatility markets. I don't want to be buying at market because the last trade price is 175. If I buy market, that's going to push the last trade price at 185. Now, this isn't big enough size to absolutely change the direction of the market, but it does matter. To a little way, I believe it does matter to where the less amount of buy market, the less I have to worry about this price action pushing up. And that's why I also like buy bid, because if I'm getting filled, this market's going lower. All right, 160s. What account size are you trading? It's a live account. My account is at like 180 or 3 something. You guys know whatever my account balance is. I've turned this off so I don't have to look or think or ask those questions, answer those questions. What is my live account size at? 360, I think it was 370. I want to see that movement. 165 is the lows. What's your trading time frame you use to enter? On this one, it was a 5-minute chart. I'm focusing. I'm watching this, so I'm a little bit distracted. Everyone's gonna start chanting Jerome. Benson, a prop account. This is a live account at a prop firm. Topstep has live accounts. Does this slow volatility affect your take profit It does not. No. This is a trade where, I could easily hold this one overnight. I want to hold a portion of this overnight. What's the Jerome joke? Jerome was joining us for Fast Markets Monday. And the joke is that while we were trading the Nasdaq, every time Jerome was speaking, the Nasdaq was selling off. And so the joke is, if somebody's saying his name or when Jerome talks, the market was selling off. Now, of course, he does not affect the markets, but it was a funny joke. And the fact that Jerome Powell actually does make the markets move when he talks. When he talks. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So Jerome Powell, everyone knows Jerome Powell, Mama Bear. But Jerome, our guest on Fast Markets Monday morning, his first name is also Jerome. Darren D, friendly wager between you and Rips. Who makes more money tonight? My bet would be on Rips. Rips is absolutely amazing poker player. I would not bet against him, regardless. Right? Rips is over there playing poker for $250,000 pots, $250,000 cash in the middle of the table. I think he bought in for 100. I think there's like almost 2 million on the table or something. Oh man, Rip's already at what? Oh, there you go. Rip's on 224,000. He's down 50K. That could change in any hand though. Like though the swings in poker are just like, so it's just like in trading, right? Every single trade might not be a winner. Every single hand, like in poker, might not be a winner. However, process over profits. You follow a process. I 100% know that Rips is following a process when it comes to poker, with a positive expectancy when he puts money into at risk. And the swings in poker, as you can imagine, say his daily loss limit theoretically on poker is 224,000, and he could risk all $224,000 on one hand. $224,000 on one hand of poker. Just like if I'm risking a daily loss limit, my daily loss limit, say, is $5,000. I'm risking $5,000 on one trade, knowing that there is a positive expectancy. Here we go. Let's see if we could push through these 150s now. Look, bid and ask is at 150. You want to see my order go through now? Oh, let's see if I could show it. Let's see. I want to see if that you guys, my orders can move the market just because it's so thin. The last trade price, 39,150. I'm going to close one off right there. I want to be at the bid. There we go. I got that one. Only in 7 now. In 7. Let's just tighten this up just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just... yeah, I can keep that right there. So watch. You could see my order come through the books, right? So I'll close one out at 150, and then it pushed the market, right? Yeah, I think that my stop's going to be better at 875. So this is completely a risk-free trade. Risk-free trade now. I'm already up $284, and my stop loss is at 800. So worst case scenario now tonight is I'm up 2,000, and we're still pushing these lows. Yeah, this is like pocket aces, right? This is like having the pocket aces. If you guys know better, they call it the nuts in poker. Dang, that did push the market wild. Yeah, right. I could close it out now again at 145, and it will push it. That's a thin order book, a live market on the thin order book. My order was the last one traded at 150, I think. How often do you review your trading strategies and performance, and what does that process look like? GD, I typically will review once a month right now. I've been reviewing my statistics and performance once a month, and what that looks like is, I mean, it's really quick. I just take a look at my statistics, see my like how the market performed. It maybe takes me 10 minutes. But the Topstep X, the statistics makes it very nice to review it. What's my win rate? 30%. 40% on a good day. I don't have a high win rate, everybody. So this is a rare. It's finals for college. Good luck. Good luck. Finals for college. I might want to let this one run overnight. We might get a big breakdown. If this thing breaks, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something push down to 39,000. Looks like we're starting to show some signs of breaking some type of a trend like this. This can get violent. I want to see it sell off. Let's see how far have we sold off. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. We can measure. I want to measure this. So from the high today, we're still only down 0.9%. So there's still room to go down. There's still room to sell off. Since we opened, we've had only 3/4. Yeah, there's plenty of room. Typically, we could see 1.5% move in the Nikkei, and so I'm not going to be surprised if we see that type of a move. Let's see. 1.5% is not much. 1.25 right there. I think that's not too bad. You can see that there has been decent sell-offs in the Nikkei before. You can see, look at this. That's 1.25, and there has been plenty of decent moves in the Nikkei, about 1%, and that is a very realistic move. We'll see if we're going to get that tonight. I want to see a big flush. Big flush. 145 has been the low. Haven't seen a big flush yet. It's been a very slow grind down. No big flush. Do you look at the IB low as additional entry? I do not. I do not look at the IB low. Aren't you risking 5,000? Nope. I was risking like 4,000. I think my stop loss is about 4,000, 4,300. Right now I'm risking 875. I don't look at unrealized risk as true risk. This is my risk, 875 minus the money I already have made. So I've already made $280 or $2,800 on this trade, $2,800 on this trade. My risk right now is 875. So worst case scenario, I lose $2,000. Yeah, worst case scenario, lose 2,000. I want to see a big flush. We've seen it a few times. These are the flushes I want to see. Right. Here's a good example. Right there. There's one of them. Here's another. And then here's another. This is a 5-minute chart, and this happens in 5, 10, 15 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. So about 15 minutes of increments. And here we are looking at it now. And this is taking a while, right? So these aren't big moves. This is a 5-minute chart. This is taking an hour. It looks like from 8. So almost an hour, but no real big flush. That can be a good sign, because if we get that flush, that could push us straight down to 39,000. 39,000 evens really quick. Is there a way to notify you when a crazy price change happens to your phone from the charts? There might be, not that I know of. I do know over here in the help section, there's plenty of resources, right, where you could upvote these features, and there's also a tutorial videos. I would check there first. Gold just shot up like crazy. Did it? Did I miss something? I'll have to check that in the sim account. I haven't been trading gold in my life, so I didn't pay for the data. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, gold's still on a rally. Gold's still on momentum. Long and strong gold. A block order just popped. If only I was in from 365. Yeah, if only I held that short or if only I was still in from today. I got stopped out today. I was short the Nasdaq from up here, 460s. This was my stop loss. My stop loss got filled at 495. Yeah, that was an ugly one. 495. You believe that? 495. That was my stop loss. I was short. Stop loss 495 and then ran me. Man, obvious hindsight capital. I get ticked out. I get ticked off too. But yeah, 495. Ugly. And then I looked at it. I'm just, you know what? Oh well, life goes on. I'm going to still look for a short tonight. Gave me a good opportunity. I got in short. Beautiful on the way down. And sure enough. Ticked out and ticked off. When something like this happens on gold, where we just keep rallying, do you ever consider shorts soon when we reach resistance? I don't. I don't like shorting gold on strong rallies. That's one where maybe I just say it depends, because it depends on it. It depends on so many other things in the markets. Yeah, every single trade you place, you could have made more money or lost more money. Very rarely would you ever run into a trade where you got the exact bottom and the exact top. That is 100% true. 100% true. Man, time's going by so fast. We only have 3 minutes left. Hey, Dakota, do you also trade the Nasdaq during these hours? Yes, I do. At the beginning of class, at the start of slow markets at 7:30 p.m. Central, I do review the Nasdaq, crude oil, Nikkei, gold. I'm in a Nikkei trade, so I'm focused on Nikkei. But I do review the Nasdaq. Nikkei does move. Nikkei is the Japanese market. It's open right now, and we do see some volatility. That's why I am trading it. I'm in a decent trade, and I'm managing it. This is my live account, by the way. How do you split your charts like that? Simple. Right here. There's a button. Charts. How you can have it organized however you want. Okay, come on. Let's get the push. Let's get the move so everyone could see it happen. There's been a lot of moves happening when I'm offline. As soon as I close the stream and maybe the market moves after, sometimes right before I start the stream, it's hard to get the markets to line up with me being on air sometimes. Rip's only down 54K. He's recovered 100,000. Nice. Process over profits. Rips is the man. He was down, 150,000, and he's recovered all that. That's like having a few losses, and then you follow your process, and you have one nice trade, and leave a runner on and make a nice trade. You're just watching Rips a bit. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Hey, this is something I wanted to talk about. How about the Topstep community, right? If you guys were watching Rips on World Poker Tour or whatever it's called, the chat, there's probably, I would dare say 800, maybe even 1,000 people watching that was from the Topstep community. So that was a beautiful thing to see. And I think that just kind of shows that there is power in community, right? Being able to support your fellow trader, support, the community and build everyone up, because a rising tide really does raise all ships. There's no room for any negativity in the community, and I'm a firm believer of that. So I love to see that. What's the criteria for a live? That is up to the risk managers, but the best thing I could say is good, consistent trading over time. Risk managers are over who comes and steps up to a live account and who does not. And now we have more slow continuation, more slow. I want to see that. I want to see a sell-off. I don't mind a pullback. I would be okay with a pullback, to be honest. Maybe a pullback to 230s, 240s. I could be okay with a pullback up to this zone. Of course, I would rather it just sell off. But if we get a pullback up to these 230s, 240s, and then we get that continuation, that's something I would much prefer, because that will give me a level to move my stop loss, right? Because I'm looking for areas to move my stop loss, and this hasn't really given me anything to move it. So I'm going to keep that at 875. So far it's just been kind of a grind down. There's no pivots, no pullbacks to sell off. There hasn't really been any good point of reference for me. I want to see a lower high or something in terms of price action. Either that or just some massive sell-off to where I could just close a position or more positions, right? So I don't mind a pullback. I kind of welcome it rather than just go sideways. I'd rather have a pullback and then see some more volatility rather than just sideways. Sideways, like I'm seeing now, starts to make me a little hesitant, right? I don't want to see this market just flatline and go sideways and slow. I want to see good, clean price action. Segi, yeah, I was short 10 contracts, so you missed some of it. Here's the nice thing. It's all recorded, right? Everything's recorded. You could rewatch it. I've just closed some out along the way down, basically in this same area. Coach, yesterday I went short on the Nasdaq, but it grinded and didn't sell off until the New York session. When this happens, do you keep that position during the New York session or close it before? It depends on the process. Sometimes when I have a trade go overnight, I'll let it run through the New York session. Tomorrow morning, we have news, a big news event, and I will not hold any trades into that news event. So if I am in an overnight trade, I will 100% make sure that I close out of all of my position before the news, closing out of everything. If there is no news, and if it's just a very light day, then there are times where I make the decision to let my overnight trade just run throughout the New York session. So yeah, it really depends. Unless I oversleep, Douglas. I don't want to bring that one back up. Then if you oversleep and make that mistake, and if you guys want to talk about slippage, I had $20,000 worth of slippage. $20,000 worth of slippage in my live account. That was very frustrating, and I got an earful from Mick in the risk team. It was called sleepage. I got that sleepage all right. $20,000 worth. Sleepage. Oh man. Never again. I make sure I've started to put 2 alarms on my phone. You have 2 alarms. One when 5 minutes before, and then one during. Make sure if I have a big position overnight. Yeah, $20,000 worth of slippage is a live account. It was what, this spring, this summer, and I trade big size. This one was 10 contracts. That one was, I think it was 30 or 15 contracts on the Nasdaq. And guess what? It was through a PPI. And when I woke up, the market just crashed and I was short. But before it crashed, we spiked up 100 points and I got filled. It was 50 points worth of slippage. It might have been even a little bit more than 50 points worth of slippage. It's the difference between a live and sim account. If that was a sim account, I probably wouldn't have got any slippage. Yeah, I had an alarm and I slept through it. And when I woke up and checked on my phone, I did really well in my personal account, which is the ironic thing. That was probably one of my best days I've had in a long time in my personal accounts. But yeah, the Topstep account suffered. July 7th, Netflix, you marked the date. Marked the date. Yeah, that was something else. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback. I'm okay with this being a pivot point now. If we do see continuation down through 140, if we do, then I'm okay with this being a pivot point. I would really want to see these 220s, just some support and resistance, some good technical analysis. Let's see if this can come into play. Peter Schapp, please explain why you do not move your stop loss to protect profits. I did. My stop loss was up here, and I already closed out 4 contracts. I am closed it out for $2,800, and I moved my stop loss to only $875, and so I'm protecting $2,000 worth of profits on this trade. So technically, $2,000 in the good. So I know you might not look at this. I know traders might not look at it like this. That's how I look at this. This trade overall, I'm up $2,800. My stop loss is at $875. So I've locked in $2,000 no matter what. And so I've locked in $2,000 with this stop loss. Now, the reason why I have not moved my stop loss, everybody, I said this once before, my process over profits, is I will move it at an area that makes sense, right? I'm not going to move it for a psychological reason. And the psychological reason is because, I don't want to lose money. That's a psychological reason. My process is I need to move it for a reason. And now for me, reasons are support and resistance, technical analysis. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see there's nice support and resistance here. There has been some nice support and resistance here, looking over on the left. So that is the reason for my stop loss. Now, ever since we've started to sell off, there has been no reason for me to move my stop loss. Now, that's why I'm okay with wanting to see if we could get a pullback to these 230s. And then, and only if we do get a sell-off and make a pivot like this, I will move my stop loss down below that next pivot. So process over profits. I do not like moving my stop loss just because I'm emotional and I don't want, psychologically, I'm going to protect profits. Well, why? Why would you have your stop loss right here? There's no technical reason to move my stop loss right there. And I know a lot of traders who, if they're in one contract, like, if I was only in one contract, I'd keep my stop loss and, leave room for the market to breathe, so to speak, and have a nice wide stop loss and leave a runner on. But then if I'm in a bigger position, I move my stop loss really quick. And then what happens is if I move my stop loss and the market goes up, takes me out, and then it sells off. And then I'll just go back and say, wow, if I would have just kept my stop loss where I originally had it, this would have been a much better trade. And it happens so often, so often. And that's why, to me, this is the point of invalidation. The only point of invalidation right now for me, based off the way I trade, is exactly right there, right at the support resistance zone. And so if the market does rally, which it can, and it starts to break, then it's invalid. This trade's no longer valid. But until then, this trade is valid. If I was not in a trade, I would actually be looking for maybe a short if we rally. If we get up to 240s, 250s in this zone, There's even a possibility where it's like, hey, if I'm not in a trade and we rally up here, I might want to short it. And so instead of moving my stop loss, I'm just going to keep it at this point. Now, I might be wrong, and traders, which is a fair point, like, oh my gosh, you're actually risking, $3,900. I'm like, yeah, if you look at it like that, yes, you can. I don't like to look at my, unrealized P&L as that. Process over profits all the time. Would I add back in? Not on this example. I wouldn't add more. Chauncey, it's not 5-1. This is not 5-1. My original stop loss was up here, and I've already taken some profits. So I've got 1-1. I've got probably maybe 2-1, 1.5-1. I've closed. I was in 10 contracts short. I closed off 4, and now my stop loss is here. So it wasn't 5-1. Nerves of steel. This is process over profits. Always, every single time. Boo Prime. It's healthy. This is not an energy drink. It's actually really healthy. I've stopped drinking energy drinks, and this has kind of been my go-to thing. But you can look at this. There's nothing bad in here. There's nothing bad in here, Quinn. Diet soda is better? No, there's absolutely, comparing this to diet soda is not the same. How did I stop? It was hard. I've switched to this, and this is so much healthier. I know it's backwards because the camera's backwards, but this is not it. And I've started drinking tea, chamomile tea. Yeah, this is so much better than Celsius or any of those energy drinks that I was used to. I was drinking. Name of drink? I don't know. I don't know. It's just Prime. It's right there next to the waters. Yeah. It's not that bad, to be honest, everybody. 10% of it, yeah. How long have I been trading Nikkei? Over a year and a few months. Celsius makes my heart race. Yeah, mine too. I've stopped drinking Celsius. Just drink water as nature intended. Well, I mean, of course, everyone wants to just only drink water. Rips is down. 1 Celsius a day keeps you healthy. Oof, I don't know about that one. That was an expensive sleep. You're talking about the sleepage. So far, this market's nice and slow. Nothing's really going on. We got up to 195s. I want to see us get to these 220s. 220s, that's where I would be okay with us getting to these 220s. This might be, I don't know if that's going to be the low of the day. I don't want to call this the low of the day, but I want to see continuation. I might let this trade just run the rest of the night, to be honest. Gold been making moves this session. Yeah, we've seen that. Gold rallying. I think I'm going to just do that, everybody. I think this is going to be a trade that I hold the rest of the night. And I might trail this, looking for this to have a breakdown, maybe looking for us to continue towards 39,000 or lower. Trail it. I've already locked up $2,000, 2,800. Stop loss right now is at minus 875. So no matter what, when I wake up, the worst case scenario for me when I wake up, I would be plus $2,000. Best case scenario, we would be back. We would be down, and I don't know. Let me do that analysis on a higher time frame again. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. So, worst case scenario, I wake up plus 2,000. Best case scenario, maybe we do get this trade and a sell off, and I could lock up another 12,000, maybe another 9,000, just depending on if we can get to that 39,000 level. Or maybe we do just have a massive sell-off, like the Nikkei has had massive sell-offs before. I'm not going to expect a home run. I'm not going to be expecting a home run. So I'm looking for just an average move, which will be, 39,000 is very realistic since I've already locked up 2,000. If I could get to 39,000, that's going to be an extra, $9,000, 9 plus 2,800. So that's right around what, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 on this one trade. So a good 2 to 1, 2.5 to 1. So a 2.5 to 1 risk reward. I was risking about 4,300 to lock up 13,000. If I do get this 39,000, that net overall would be pretty close to a 3 to 1 risk reward on this particular trade. I'm going to let this one run. I'm not going to have a take profit right now. I'm not going to put a take profit till I go to bed. Most likely my take profit's going to be somewhere in this zone. And I think that is where I'm going to leave this trade. I was kind of hoping we would see some type of bigger, flush or a move tonight in front of everybody. It's just, unfortunately, I can't control the markets to move during my class, but you guys got to see the better part of it, right? Everyone got to see me take some profits down here as we started to sell off, and you get to see the way I think, the way I've been able to, why I got into it, where I put my stop loss, how I think about moving my stop loss, and being able to hold a trade overnight. And the fact that I can fall asleep knowing that I'm in 6 contracts short the Nikkei. And now if somebody would tell you, yeah, I'm 6 contracts short Nikkei, you're not going to sleep. Well, this is why I'm okay with falling asleep with a decent size, is because of this, is because it's the process. It's knowing that, hey, I locked it up. I know where my stop loss is. I know what my risk reward is. I know what the worst case scenario is. So this is probably where I'm going to finish up. I'm going to order me some food and then watch Rips. I do see that it was on the highlights. They are on break. After the highlights, they will be back. I think Rips was down 140,000, and then he's been coming back, and he's now only down like $50,000. So he's made 100,000 since his equity low, I guess is what you could say. And then I'll keep this Nikkei trade running while I watch Rips play some poker. And that's typically what I like to do. I'll have a nice dinner. I'll, continue to monitor this trade, and then I'll watch, Rips, maybe Netflix or something going on there. And with the rest of the team, because it's a nice little watch party everyone's having. I seen Hoag in there. Andre was in there. Coach Robert was in there. We're all there supporting Rips on TV. So that being said, few more questions before I end it tonight. It's not his poker channel, Diego. This is the World Poker Tour. It's live TV. And I will be on I will be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll be on Power Hour tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's going to be pretty volatile. It should be anyway, with the PPI or CPI coming out on Thursday and tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Can you look at gold? No, that's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq. Let's see. What's the Nasdaq doing? We could take a run. Nasdaq not really doing much. Gold. I got to look at that at the sim account because I didn't pay for that one. Let's take a look. I do not use Bookmap. Gold not really doing much, right? It's just bullish, trending up and to the right. Nasdaq not doing much. Nikkei still just came down to these 180s, hovering around 180, 200, 39,000, 180, 200. I want to see us get to these 220s. Now, it's weird to think that I want the market to go against me when I'm short, but I I like pullbacks. It's very healthy for a market. I would be okay with seeing 220 and then a reversal. So it's weird to think that I'm rooting against my position sometimes, but yeah, I would much rather see a pullback in a level that I could move my stop loss in the money before I go to bed. So yeah, that's an interesting way to think of it. Could you explain why you go about using the 100 tick chart on something like the Nikkei or the Nasdaq Globex that moves so much slower in time? Yeah, I don't really use the 100 tick chart on the Nasdaq during Globex, usually just a 5-minute chart, but I will use a 100 tick chart on the Nikkei just because you see all these gaps. There's a lot of gaps on the 5-minute chart. And then if I look at the 15-minute, there's a lot of gaps. And typically the 1-hour chart is pretty good, but sometimes there's even gaps on the 1-hour chart. So the 100 tick chart is a little cleaner. 100 tick and the 1-hour chart on the Nikkei are pretty close to each other because the Nikkei doesn't move a lot in terms of volume, because the 100 tick chart is a candlestick for every 100 ticks, and you guys could see, look at these, look, that's one order all the way down here, one. So there's not a lot of volume, right? So not a lot of volume, and you could probably see like where was my orders, right? So I don't know, you could probably see which ones my orders were if you guys were watching this, where did I move the market at? I was probably some of these on the way down. So that's why I sometimes prefer a 100 tick chart. Hikinashi solves that for you. Yep. So as a live trader with Topstep, we pay professional rates. You pay data fees. How many trades do you take in a day or a week? I would say 1 to 3 trades a day. Some days I don't even take a trade. For a week, I would say that correlates to 10 to 5 to 15 trades per week, but it depends on the market conditions. Ken Griffin is manipulating the charts. Yeah. 10 more minutes. How often can you please explain your trade entry? I did go through that earlier. Making sure I didn't miss any questions. Do you close your position before red news? Yes, I do. Before any major news event, my pure recommendation is to be flat. No news event is worth the risk. Nope, I absolutely do my best to make sure that I am flat before a major news event. Now, we do have to understand that there will be events that happen in the market that's unpredictable. For example, if there's a headline news that nobody was planning for and it just came out, you cannot be flat for that because you didn't know it was going to happen. There's going to be unexpected events that always happen in the markets that you cannot predict or prepare for. You can prepare for it by having a stop loss, right? But if there is news, like tomorrow, we could check the calendar and say, okay, tomorrow at this time, there's going to be CPI. It's very, very good advice to be flat, not to have an open position or pending orders during this time, knowing that this is Mountain Standard, knowing at 7:30 a.m., this will bring volatility into the markets. Be flat during that, and then you can determine a trade after that. So during planned and predicted news events, it's always best practice to be flat, especially as a new trader, someone who's learning, becoming consistent. That is the best thing that you can do as a new trader in all aspects. How often do you take a payout, and how much would one payout be? It depends. Some traders will take a payout once a month. Some traders will take a payout as soon as they can, which is 5 profitable days of $200. Some traders take it every other week. Some traders take it, it really depends. The last payout I took, I've been building this account. I've been building this account for a little while because I was showing traders how to grow an account. and it's a live account and I want to grow it, trade bigger. But I've taken out 186,000 already this year, and I haven't taken a payout since. Would price get back into the 220s for a valid short entry? Maybe. If I wasn't in a short already, I would be looking for this zone to become resistance, right? See, it was support, a little bit hesitation there. And if I was not short and I wanted to get short, this is the zone that I'm looking for. This is the zone that I would be okay with shorting. It's a little bit harder now because I'm already in a short. I already closed some for take profits, and we've already have the decent extension. So I'm just looking for an area to just move my stop loss. So moving my stop loss, that's the phase that I'm at on the Nasdaq right now. Do you have to pay taxes on profits that you haven't taken out yet? No, not me. I mean, I've never heard of anybody paying taxes on unrealized gains or profits that they haven't taken out of a prop firm yet. The 186 was on the previous live account. Yeah, I was trading NinjaTrader 8. So my platform of choice when I started, I have NinjaTrader account. That's where some of my personal live account is. And so when I first started teaching, learning, before Topstep X even came about, remember, Topstep X is a new platform that's less than a year old. And so I was trading on NinjaTrader. So I had my live account on NinjaTrader, withdrew 186,000, grew it up to 250K, withdrew 186,000. And then I made the switch to Topstep X. And then I had to start from scratch. I had to start in a combine, pass combines, get to an XFA, transfer that, trade consistently, transfer those funds to a live account, and then continue to practice in combines. And I did go through that same process as everybody else. I've always told everybody, hey, in order to get funded with a prop firm, get a live account, you have to go through that process. So I went through it. I made sure to take advantage of everything I could in the same journey to get a live account. And now that I do have a live account, and now that I no longer trade combines or XFAs, the focus has been pure live account. Live account has always been the focus. Would you recommend micros after a buffer in a 50K or a single mini trade, also with a buffer built in already? For a 50K account, I really do prefer micros. Micros are a very useful tool for smaller account sizes. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call it then. Did you blow any accounts when you started? So I started trading when I was much younger. But yeah, when I was learning Topstep X, I've blown through accounts. I've blew combine accounts. I've blown combine accounts live in front of everybody and showing the process. I've made mistakes. I fat fingered it. And some of it was learning. Some of it was just dumb mistakes trying to pass a combine. But yeah, I don't know anybody who hasn't blown an account. Everyone's probably blown like an account or two, I'm sure. Okay. All right. That being said, everybody, thank you. I will see everybody tomorrow during Power Hour. If not, tomorrow at night during slow markets. I'm going to go watch rips. They'll probably be back from break here soon. Get me some food and do that watch party with everybody else. There's a lot of people on Topstep TV and on Topstep watching rips. So it's kind of like a little watch party we're all doing. Take care, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.